Starbane's Avenue.
Hey everybody, it is time for the 100th episode, bonus episode. So I think this is going to be our 101st episode of Six Unseemly Questions. It's going to be all Six Unseemly Questions, internal staff and stars. All right, so let me just introduce one at a time who is here. I, of course, am Victor Varnado. I'm the host of Six Unseemly Questions. It is a game show that I made, and it follows my rules, and I pay people $5 when I like them on the show. Also here is Dave Rosinsky. How's it going, Dave?
It's going well, thank you.
All right, Dave.
How is your afternoon?
It's pretty good. It's my birthday, Dave.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Thank you, friend of many years. All right, Dave.
Listen, it's not my fault. I have no idea what day it is anymore.
I get it, Dave.
I'm in pandemic calendar. It doesn't exist.
Dave, you've been a great co-host to the show so far. I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for the show.
Thank you, and thank you for happy birthday.
Great, anytime. Also, we have Rebecca Trent. Rebecca Trent is the producer of the show and a talent booker for the show as well. Rebecca, great to have you on the team.
Great to be had, Victor.
I bet it is. Also, Rebecca, you are one of my best friends in the world, as is Dave. Dave is one of my besties as well, but I would have to say Rebecca's a little tighter than Dave.
That makes sense.
But definitely.
Better hugs, Dave. Much better hugs.
Okay.
Go ahead. I was going to introduce, lastly, of course, Rachel Teichman, our producer. Rachel edits every episode, handles all of the mechanics of getting these shows up and running. Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome, and I'm offended.
Why are you offended?
Well, you said that they're your best friends, and
Yeah.
I'm not, and I'm offended.
You are my friend. But them I've known for many, 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 many years, and you've been a couple of years.
I can't help it that I'm younger.
That's true. You haven't been on the planet as long, so you started behind. But that's just how systemic racism works. Think about it. So, maybe that's a lesson for you. All right, everybody.
Okay, yeah.
Let's get this show started.
Six Unseemly Questions!
Welcome to Six Unseemly Questions, 101st bonus episode, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell everybody. Yeah, I'm going to tell everybody how the show works, and we're just going to get started. We're going to each ask each other questions. Then I will ring a bell if I like the answers, and if I don't like the answers, I will not ring a bell, and I'll determine why. And at the end of the show, I will award one of us $5. All right, so we're each going to ask each other questions. So I'll tell you what. I will start. I'll have one question for each of you, and then that person will get to ask the next question of someone else. All right. We should each have a question for each of us. First of all, the first question is for Rachel. Rachel, what is your ideal human mate?
Like a romantic partner?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a running gag because Rachel acts like a robot.
My ideal primary romantic partner would, one, be female. She has to be funny. She has to be at least as stable as I am, if not more.
That's important. I get it.
Yeah.
Is that financially or emotionally stable?
Both.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my therapist had the same question. Yeah, so at least as stable on both of those fronts as I am. She needs to want to do things. Like, she can't be like stuck in a place in her life where she hates what she's doing every day for work and in her everyday life, but then like just complains about it and doesn't do anything to change it. Like, she needs to like move.
It does sound like you're saying this from experience.
Are you talking about your therapist still?
No.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to say for that question, you get a bell. And I'll tell you why. It is because that was a lot of interesting information and pretty honest. So there you go. I think it's worth a bell. All right. So it's your turn to ask someone else a question.
Okay.
This is question number 2 of 12.
Wow.
Okay. Question number 2, Dave. Have you ever stolen something?
Oh, wow. It's funny, when I was 11, I went through this weird, like, kind of shoplifting kind of thing. And I got like baseball cards and stuff like that. And then all my friends started doing it, and then everybody got caught, and our parents came, and that was the end of my career as a thief.
Do you remember which baseball cards you stole?
Yeah, I think I actually still have some of them. They were like 1989 Fleer or something, 88 Donruss.
All right, I'm going to say no bell on that question.
Why?
Because I really don't give a shit about baseball cards.
That's not the point of the question. The point of the question is if I ever stole anything.
Was that the point?
Yes, that was the point.
Seems like the point was whether or not I like baseball cards.
See, this is how it starts, and then the next thing you know, Victor, you're going to be stealing cars. And I'm not going to be there to help you, and neither is the rest of the community.
All right, so Dave, it is your turn to ask someone else a question. I think the only person you have left to ask is Rebecca this round. So for question number 3, go for it, Dave.
How are you enjoying your new life in Texas?
Well, I've had some problems with the structure of, let's call it structure of ownership. So we've had to address some of those issues. So basically the easy way for me to answer this question is to say that I've only really just been to work so far. I had one bad massage. I can't get delivery after 10 p.m. The bagels here are just trash, except for this one place called Nervous Charlie's. And if you want a bagel over the weekend, you got to order it by Thursday. I'm not a planner. I don't have that kind of energy to think pizza? Like, oh, what do I want to eat in 4 days? The pizza here is garbage. There's one place that's good that I've had so far, and I've had it for maybe 6 different spots because we do a lot of, like, when the crew's here, we feed them pizza kind of stuff. It's great, right? But it's not it doesn't have the access that New York has, and it doesn't have the freedom of being a 24-hour community the way that New York is. So I'm adjusting to that. That's really been my most major adjustment.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
All right, I want to say no bell on that question because that was boring.
Okay.
Woo! Let me tell you.
You try eating a bagel down here, and we'll see how boring it is.
Okay. Challenge accepted. I think I can do that. All right.
I blame the question.
Question number 4. I agree with you.
I'm sorry.
Time for question number 4. Rebecca, it's up to you.
All right, Victor, what is the most public place you've ever masturbated?
Masturbated?
Uh-huh.
I guess that would have to just be that's indoors. I've had public sex, but there's been other people there. It wasn't me masturbating. I've had sex. I've had sex in a park in New York, in the Lower East Side, in a park.
Okay.
But as far as masturbation, I'm always like.
You never jerked it on the subway or in a car? Or...
No. Why?
Really?
What? I don't understand. Wait.
Okay. Do you guys think jerking it on the subway is a common thing?
Wait.
That's not
I've
what
seen
we
it.
do.
Yeah, it is. I've seen that.
I mean,
lot.
yes, you've seen it. It's happened, of course, but
Wait, I have been masturbated on a plane.
Oh, that's fun.
But
that's
still,
fun.
That was someone else involved. It wasn't just me.
Had you met the person before you got on the plane?
Was it the captain?
Yes, I had met the person before I'd gotten on the plane. I've only gotten into a car or vehicle. It was a car. I've only gotten into a car once where I didn't know the person and ended up making out with them. That's happened one time where I got into just like the same vehicle as somebody. In fact, we were sharing an Uber because the Ubers were few and far between. We were both going to Manhattan, so we shared an Uber because the train was broken, and then we ended up making out.
I love it. Bell for Victor.
I'm going to give myself a bell because I'm going to give myself a bell for all my answers. So you know that's going to be a standing rule of the show. All right. It is time for question number 5. Dave, is your life a shamble?
Can you be a little bit more specific?
Well, it's up for you. It's up for you to determine.
No, I don't think my life is in shambles.
That's good.
Yeah.
I want that to be the answer.
Do you? Is your life in shambles?
No, my life is not in shambles. I there was a time in my life where I thought my life was in shambles, but no, currently it is not in shambles.
Okay. Were you worried about me? I mean, you could have just asked.
He did.
No, because you seemed okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, you seem fine. I mean,
I'm fine. Girl, you fine. We're all fine.
I mean, you're in the pandemic. You've got a job. You're living in your own apartment. Things are good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right. Give it a bell.
You know what? I'm going to give you a bell, Dave. Here you go.
All right. That's weird. You listened to me for once. Weird.
Yep. I know, right?
Weird.
That's the first time for everything, Dave.
Bonus episode. That's why.
Exactly. Dave, it's your turn to ask a question.
Okay. Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
How many questions have I asked on the show?
Today or in the past?
Overall, generally.
I would say you've asked 420 questions.
420, dude.
Blaze it.
Word.
The answer is 1. It was the question that I just asked Rebecca.
But then you just asked the second one too.
Well, that was the second question, but technically it had to be answered before it could count, right?
No.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I would say that you've asked a lot of questions on the show, but no formal questions as part of the show's structure.
Right.
Just interrupted with questions.
Formal, like tuxedo formal.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Interrupted questions? Yep.
Yes, you interrupt people with questions all the time, though.
All right, well, let's get a bell for or wait.
I'm gonna say no bell on that.
Oh yeah, no bell. Sorry, Rachel.
I'm gonna say no bell on that because I felt like her answer was not accurate.
She was
I don't think Dave's question was that great, so it was hard to answer.
I think
correctly.
my question was awesome. Your answer was like 420, buddy.
I'm just
That
saying.
was your answer. You were like 420, bro. That's
Dave. We just have 2 people have problems with your questions so far. I don't know. You may want to step up the last question, I guess.
My last question is to you, right?
Right, but it's Rachel's turn to ask a question.
Which one is Rachel?
If I know.
Screw you, dude.
Hey, it's nothing personal. It's just a joke. We all know which one is Rachel.
I'm
It says it right
so
there.
sick of being called Rachel, and I bet Rachel gets called Rebecca every once in a while. It's annoying.
Super annoying.
I wasn't
Yeah.
saying that. I never confused both of your names. That's ridiculous. Who calls you Rachel and who calls you Rebecca? Not.
It's like
People who don't know us, they're not thinking.
I get it though, because like when people often call me Vince.
Yeah. They're
My
like,
name
hey,
is Victor.
Vinny. What's up, Vinny?
Exactly.
Oh, because of Victor. I get it. Okay.
Yep. Rachel, it is now time for you to ask question number 7.
Okay. This one's for you, Victor. So question number 7. What's the weirdest thing someone has said to you?
Oh,
What's the weirdest thing someone has said to me?
Uh-huh. I don't know why Rebecca is nosing out of this. I did not ask her the question.
Actually, I can tell you the weirdest thing.
Oh,
someone
I'm not.
said to me.
That's just how I'm sitting.
The weirdest thing someone said to me is actually something that wound up in my stand-up act because it was so weird. It was where I was walking around and there was a crack whore lady. I don't know if she was a crack whore specifically, but she looked like what I would imagine a crack whore would look like.
Generally, not specifically.
And
generally,
she said, "Hey, do you want to play around?" And I said, "No." And then she said, "Mother, I will suck your dick off." That's what she said. And that's
Now you're married.
Yes, and that was when I met Leslie. She said that, and I thought that was so funny because it's like kind of aggressive, but it sounds like it might be good, but I don't know. So it was just like, ooh, it just struck me.
it kind of sounds like she meant off of your body, like she was going to detach it, like a threat.
Yes, it sounds like maybe good and also maybe bad. And I'm going to give myself a bell because, of course, that was a question that I answered, so I get a bell.
Oh, you get a bell for that, not for your rule that you get a bell for every answer?
That's true. It could be.
So which one is it?
Who knows why I'm getting a bell this time, but I'm definitely getting a bell.
I'm pretty sure it's because you made that rule.
Maybe it is. It is time for question number
eight.
Question number 8. This one is for Rebecca. Question number 8, Rebecca.
Okay.
What are you amazing at?
Parallel parking.
Really?
I'm unbelievably good at parallel parking. I can parallel park a car so that it's touching the vehicle behind it and the vehicle in front of it, like no space in between. Nick Turner, I've had taxi cab drivers get out of their car and give me a standing ovation for my parking. That happened in Soho.
How did you gain that skill?
Smart car.
I drove my house when I was living in Northern Virginia, when I went to high school for 3 years when I was in Northern Virginia, was on a pipeline driveway. So I had to be really good at reversing out with like hedges and ice and all that shit in Northern Virginia.
What is
and I
a
just got really
pipeline
good at
driveway?
driving. And so it's where they have like 2 sets of houses, and the second set is set back, but they're all still on the same street. So the driveway is like 3 times longer than a normal driveway.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a normal house. So it's just so that they can fit more houses into a cul-de-sac, basically.
Got it. Okay. I see. Awesome. All right. That's actually good information.
Cool.
I like it. I'm going to give you a bell.
Yay! Okay, Rachel, what is the most illegal thing you have ever done?
Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Oh no. Oh boy.
Oh man, that's a great question. I haven't really done that many illegal things other than speeding, like heavy speeding. I guess probably the most reckless illegal thing I've done was and I think I gave the same answer on my first episode of Six Unseemly. I had sex in a hammock in a park.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I guess that is illegal public nudity.
Right. Yeah.
At lewd acts, there's a couple of things you could get charged with.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, like
Underage drinking.
yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Whippets.
But not recently.
You guys into whippets?
I don't know
Those
that
aren't
that's
even
a thing
illegal.
anymore.
They're not illegal. It is a thing.
Oh,
You
they're
can get them
not?
at smoke shops now. Head shops have those little whippet
Wow.
cartridges and a
Get
gun,
outta
and you
here.
can puff it.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a lot of friends that quit weed and booze by just switching to whippets.
Wow, that doesn't sound like.
I have one friend. I have one friend that did that.
Just one.
Are they like huge? Maybe no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That'll do it. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give. That was interesting information. I'm gonna give you a bell. There you go.
Now it's your turn, Rachel.
Okay. Question number 9, I think. Rebecca, what are you proud of?
I'm proud of my friends. Super proud of my mom. I think she's one of the most amazing people on the planet. And I'm proud of the way that I get to work with comedians.
That's great. That's great. But no bell, because seems like it put everyone into a somber mood. I don't know what that was about. But everybody was just like, okay.
Then you're gonna hate my next question.
Oh.
Question number 11. This one's for Dave. When was the last time you cried?
When was the last time I cried? Maybe in the past few months I cried, but
Okay,
I was
but
also.
why?
Are
But
you
I was
sure?
also.
Are you sure?
What? Yeah,
Oh.
but also I was kind of drunk, so I don't know if it counts.
Let me just be more.
And I don't
precise.
even remember. It wasn't clear what it was about.
Let me
think
just be more.
I think I got more
precise.
choked up. I got choked up, and I got a tear about something. Maybe it was a. I don't know.
Let me be more precise with the question. When was the last time you saw your penis?
Why is it missing? Is it missing? What's so funny about that?
Because
When was the last time you saw your penis?
Because the
He's
joke is
implying that you cry every time you see your
No, that's-
because it's
that's not-
disappointing. It's a disappointing.
It is not
penis.
a disappointing penis. Thank you
Well,
for your
I don't know.
concern, Rebecca.
I've talked to a handful of your exes. I'm not sure if that holds up in court, sir.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
And you knocked over my mic.
The last time I cried was when the creek closed.
Oh, that wasn't the last time I cried, but I definitely cried a lot then.
Yeah. I'm going to say that was a good answer because it led to a very good laugh. So that was question 11, right? So there's one more question left. That is Dave, I guess it's your question for me. Now remember, your last questions there was some complaints. So hopefully
I thought it was a pretty good question.
Which one? The last question you asked either well, let's get a review.
Rachel.
How was a scale of 1 to 10? How was his last question, Rachel, that he asked you?
I don't even remember what he asked me, so I'm gonna give it a 1.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
My question, first of all, was clever, and it was to make sure or to see if you were paying attention, and that was it.
All right, I'm just
and also to make a note of that I never get to ask any questions on the show.
You don't have to yell into your mic like that. You don't have to scream.
Are you guys listening?
Yes, we are, Dave. All right, so your last question, Dave. Number 12.
Victor.
Yes.
Why do you get your motivation to do so much weird stuff with your Dungeons and Dragons gangs?
Why do I get my motivation to do so much weird stuff with my Dungeons and Dragons games?
Gangs.
He did not step up that question.
Gangs. Yeah, why do I get my motivation to do so much weird stuff with my Dungeons and Dragons gangs? It is a lot of fun to play Dungeons and Dragons. Mm-hmm. It's just fun and weird, and it's a good time, and that's why I like it.
Okay, and is it also true you recruited Rachel into this gang?
Yes, Rachel does play. Well, actually, she plays a game that I made, a role-playing game that I made that's like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's called and Castles.
And Castles, yes.
And I'm the master of the
Yes.
Is Dave just jealous that he's not in this gang?
No, he's welcome to play.
See, you can be a part of the gang.
Has he ever tried to recruit you into his?
No, he hasn't. That I would probably just give him my brother's email and say, this is the guy you want.
I get it. You know what? I said I was going to give myself all bells, but I can't give myself a bell on that answer because the question was so bad. So
that was a great question. You got to talk about your and castles.
Well, that was great. And so I guess now it's time to decide who should get the $5 for this episode of the show after we've heard all the questions. By the way, I will tell everybody out there where you can find us. You can find us at Six Unseemly on all social media and unseemlyquestions.com. We are on the Starburns network and check us out. Follow us, blah, 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 blah. Be nice to us because we like you. All right. So it's time to decide who's going to get the $5. Let's canvass the room. Rebecca, first of all, who do you think should get the $5?
I think I should get $5 for having the best questions.
Okay, so Rebecca says she should.
And then
get $5.
I think you should give $5 to Rachel for the best answers.
Oh, so you think I should just pony up $10?
And
I do.
And what else?
What do you?
Nope, that's it, Dave.
Okay.
and what do you think? What do you think, Rachel? Who should get the $5?
I should, because now the whole world knows what I'm looking for in a mate, and so I need to take her out on a date.
Whoa.
Well, that's a good answer.
All right. Okay. Well,
that's 2 votes for Rachel.
Rachel wants us to invest in her love life. Okay. And then what do you think, Dave? Who should get $5?
As much as I am against you winning it, I'm going to vote for you because I would like to confuse you as to why I'm voting for you, Victor. And also, I feel like you've never won $5 before, have you?
No, I've never won $5 on this show.
In any form, competition, any?
No, I've won money in poker, but not a $5. I've won more money than that, I guess, when I win.
Okay, that was
all right. There you go. Okay, so we've had the votes. I'm just going to say that the $5 is going to go to Dave. And I'll tell you why, Dave. Because, I want you to use that $5 to invest in better questions.
Okay. Do you know any books or something?
Yeah. I do. I knew a couple. But it is time to find out, Dave, what you learned from this week's show.
Well, it looks like I'm about to buy myself about 40 more Dodge coins. Thank you. Four, I mean. See? 8, 20 cents.
Doja coins?
Which one?
Dogecoin.
Yeah. Check us out at Six Unseemly on all social media and unseemlyquestions.com. Thank you so much, everybody, for 100 episodes so far.
We did it. Yay.
Bye. Yeah.
Starbane's Audio, a podcast network.